Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I'm here with Zin. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
We are going to be talking about some of our hot takes and stuff that's happened in Star Citizen in the last few days. Starting with the Fleet Week test weekend. So, well, actually, this is also 3.13.1 as well. So, we were able to play around a bit with the Hercules and the Nova Tonk. So, Hercules, Zin, what did you think of the Hercules C2 and M2, not the A2?
It's a big ship.
They are big. You said that a lot in
It's
all...
really big.
So, you might have seen a video where Zin is like, the chip's big, it's big, it's big. That was cutting down a lot of the amount of time she said that by a significant margin. That is the main description of the ship. It's because it's just a cargo ship, and you go inside, and it's just a huge amount of space. With no frills there. And the ship's big. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Honestly, I think I just prefer the Mercury Star Runner. The Hercules is too big for me. It's intimidating.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're not really, super into your massive cargo hauling or anything like that, though.
No. But if I was going to do cargo hauling, the Mercury Star Runner would probably be enough for me. Yes,
that's a good, fair point. However, if you wanted to take some, 2 to 3 tanks to the surface of a planet, then the Hercules is going to be more suited for you.
Yes.
And we did see in some pictures that you are actually able to take 3 tanks in it. A lot of people have just been jamming 3 tanks in.
Rather snugly. I have a feeling that if there was too much motion, they may explode.
Well, yeah, certainly at the moment. If it sits, it fits. Is sort of at least part of what Cloud Imperium have said. There's a mixture of, you need to affix these things to mag plates to have them fully secured. And there's also, if it's in there, it's in there. So yeah. There's a bit of, we'll have to see the route that Cloud Imperium go. Are you able to put vehicles in just higgledy-piggledy if they fit and it's fine? Or are there going to be problems? Did you have any preference over the C2 or the M2?
No, not really. I know you preferred the M2 in the end, didn't you? Because of the people-carrying facilities.
I had originally liked the C2 more because when I have a cargo ship, I want it to have maximum space possible. And the C2 has more space. It's not a huge amount more, but it's a good amount more. It's 15% or something.
Where is the more space? Because it's not in the lower deck, is it?
Well, that's exactly it. So it's 696 cargo units compared to 522 cargo units. I've got it written down on one of my business cards.
You need a fucking notepad, mate.
Well, I probably do. I don't know why it's written down here. So that was the thing. Downstairs is where the tanks go. That's not where the extra cargo space is.
No.
So where is that? Is it upstairs? There are little cargo pods there, but they're more for sort of local inventory. And the only other difference that I could see was that, well, there's two differences. One's quite small. Instead of a kitchen area and sort of living space, you get a auxiliary crew compartment, which is like a drop ship compartment where 12 people can sit down in the M2. Which is one of the things I really liked, and an armory there. But the C2 had a kitchen, and the M2 has an extra seat in the front for controlling one of its turrets. For some reason, I suppose we need to have a proper tour of that ship. There was a lot of bugs with it over the weekend, so I sort of I was waiting for it to be a bit more stable before we really looked at it in some detail.
Yeah, we did what we could. We did what we could be bothered to do.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's our motto. We do what we can be bothered to. But the other thing is that the C2 has 2 bunks and the M2 has 3. Although it looks like both have 4, they don't. The compartments are closed. Open up the compartments and you have more bunk beds. It doesn't really support much in the way of crew, the ship, unless you've got the M2, in which case really those crew, half of them are supposed to be used for the vehicles that are in the ship, even though you could probably just have the crew waiting in the vehicle.
It does seem a bit weird. It's a big ship. Is it only meant to be manned by so few people? That seems weird to me. The Mercury Star Runner literally is made to have 3 people crew it. And that's a lot smaller in comparison.
When it's just more of a drop ship that you're trying to drop tanks off. So let's assume its main focus, a little bit cargo, but main focus is to drop tanks off.
Yeah.
Well, you only need 2 crew really to do that. And obviously, if you're going down the more military route, you need to have some of those people that are going to be on the tanks. Maybe you want to cater for them as well. But they could just be on their tanks. So it's an interesting one. I much prefer the M2. However, obviously that was just an example using it just for tanks. A lot of people are going to use this as a pure cargo carrier or as a mixture of the two. And we're not really sure where the extra space was. But I suppose it doesn't really matter as long as you can use it. But there are cargo pods upstairs. Maybe some of those are, I don't know, something else that we didn't see.
Maybe there is a slight difference in the lower deck that you just don't really perceive.
No, I don't think there can be because the tanks, that's just the main tank area. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Maybe there's just like a slight difference in the way the ceiling is molded or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the M2 is supposed to have more armor as well and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe it's that. But not a huge difference in cargo amount. Was it 170-ish difference? I suppose that could be quite a bit. I like the idea of having a load of drop troopers running out of my ship with tanks. So if I'm using a ground assault, doing a ground assault mission or assaulting a base, I prefer the M2 now. And I'll probably be changing my C2 into an M2. But what did you think about the Nova tank that we played? We only played with it a little bit.
Yeah, well, it took us, what was it? We were having trouble getting to one, weren't we? Like the servers were being a bit unfair.
The servers were being flaky. But yeah, we had some problems getting there. You didn't the area didn't load in for you. So if you had walked into the room, you would have fallen through the floor.
Well, no, it worked out in the end. The garage didn't load for me. But as soon as I sort of poked my head through the doorway, it spawned in, but then the rear area just went black. So that was weird. There's
not enough clearance really in the new Babbage vehicle hangars for the Tonk. It's almost perfectly the right size to get out, but will scrape. The two guns at the top will scrape along the roof of some of the doors.
You had to close the back door, otherwise it would not fit through the doorway. Because
it couldn't rock backwards.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. I'm glad it didn't just take them off. Just go, just make the guns.
That would have been funny. Like taking your car to one of those automated car washes and you forget to take your aerial off and it's not one of the bendy ones.
It snaps right off, but at least it's clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was literally just big.
Yeah.
And if you want a Nova tank, it is not a one-person tank. It is at minimum 2-person, preferably 3 is the sort of idea there.
It is a multi-crew tank, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's big. You need someone in the turret. And we don't have much reason to use ground vehicles yet, other than to have tank wars now. I've put our names down in for Hurst and Hurtlocker.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll have a tank section on that. That'll be cool. You'll enjoy it. I'll talk to you more about that later, Zin.
Okay.
Any improvements you want for the Hercules or the tank that you've seen so far, other than make them less buggy?
No, I mean I did say I'd like the lights in the Hercules to be all 6000K.
Oh yeah, you found them too, yellow and orange rather than white.
Yeah, so there was a couple of them that were really nice and white, and they were good. But then you'd get certain areas where they weren't, and I'm just like, nah. And for Crusader as well, I would have thought that they'd have cold white.
Yeah, I totally agreed with you at the time as well. You're totally right. Having that sort of clean lighting rather than the orange, because it's not really a living space.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be a living space, and I think that maybe it's because they wanted a contrast of the bright white light of doom.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted a contrast of that, but yeah, I'd prefer a 6000K sort of light there all over the ship. I think it makes more sense, and also. I want to see some more skins for that Nova tank, because I didn't like the camo skin for it that we had. So with the Fleet Week server tests in mind, that we were participating in to some degree, Bengal. What do you think of Bengal?
Now that's a big ship.
Yeah, it was big, wasn't it? So that's the biggest ship we've got in game by far.
Yeah.
It makes the Javelin and the Idris look tiny.
It makes the Hercules. I mean, I think the Idris is bigger than the Hercules, isn't it?
It is, yeah, by some margin.
But obviously the Hercules is one of the biggest ships that we've got currently that we can fly. But apart from obviously stealing Idris's. But you just see a Hercules.
You got the I think 890 jump is the commonly the largest.
I haven't seen much of the 890 jump apart from that mission, so I don't have much.
Well, young lady, I have an 890 jump. You can.
But I haven't. Yeah, I can't really compare the 890 jump because I've not seen it enough.
Okay. We'll have to do some content in the 890 jump then. We'll see if we can get the tonk in it and stuff.
Yeah, but I have got footage of like the Bengal, and then there was a Hercules flying next to it, and I'm like, God damn, that ship's tiny.
Yeah. So we've seen the Bengal fly around. It has combat capability as well, which is good because people were trying to ram it and stuff, and it was just, well, if anyone rams it, the Bengal ignores the ram. That ship's dead. And it keeps on going, and anyone that's a criminal that's nearby gets just obliterated.
Yes. I think there was a Hercules, I think it was a C2 that managed to get a crime stat, and it was dead within seconds. But that was the Bengal and an Idris firing at it. Yeah,
fair one. I mean, the fleet's around it typically.
Yeah.
So, for people that don't know, during Fleet Week, there is going to be a Bengal flyby every so often around the major stations. So, each of the major stations, so about the major planets, the station there, the fleet is going to move to. You have the Bengal basically travel with it, do some flybys around the station, then move to the next station. And they'll be like there for like an hour or so. Don't actually know the length of time they plan to have it, but it was like an hour or so in the PTU server that we played. You can just sort of see it in all its glory. I don't think anyone's stolen it yet, as far as I'm aware.
No.
Though I don't think it has internal geometry. You did try and land on it, didn't you?
I tried to land on it, I exploded.
Yeah.
Thing is, I feel like I was probably colliding with it and not realising it, whether it was like a server janky thing or if it's just got a slightly larger hitbox than it would have, just to prevent that sort of thing.
Why not both?
But I tried to match speed, because obviously it's constantly moving, which is going to make it, again, slightly harder to steal. So it's constantly moving. I tried to match speed, had my landing gear down, and to me it felt like I should have landed, but I just exploded.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not a true ship yet.
Yeah.
One of the things is I'm pretty sure it's invincible or largely invincible. However, it definitely has shield health, and some of its components definitely have health. So people are certainly going to try and fight it.
Yeah.
And even if you just blow bits off of it and damage it and take shields down, I think that's probably a success. But I mean, if some people can work out how to kill it, great. That'll be awesome. Because sometimes they have a component that if it does take enough damage, the ship will explode or part of it will break off. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see those in games. And one day in player hands, a Bengal, a huge. Oh, Zin, I want to have a tour of that.
Maybe next year.
Well, quite genuinely, maybe next year.
Because last year we saw the Idris for the first time, didn't we?
We haven't had a tour of the Idris, though.
Sorry, not Idris. Javelin, or was there a Javelin before that?
So, the Javelin and Idris we saw properly in-game last year for Fleet Week.
Yeah.
So you're sort of right on both accounts. But we haven't had an internal tour of the Idris yet.
Yeah.
But we do have an internal tour of the Javelin now, as part of Fleet Week. Now, you weren't able to take the tour because by the time that we were on the servers doing it, they had stopped the ability to do the tour.
Yeah.
Even though the Javelin was still moving around and doing the tour, you just couldn't access the elevators to get onto the tour.
Yeah.
I janked through the docking arm by getting upside down in a bike and then getting out of the bike so it pushes you through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to do the tour. And you were able to watch that video.
Yes.
So basically it's the same, if not better, watching me do it. So what did you think of sort of like that tour there? Because you were able to talk to the staff, move around. What do you think? Do you think that's too much effort to do? Do you think it's a cool thing? What do you think?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I think it's it's good to be able to see the inside of the Javelin. I feel if it was an actual, like, if this was real life and we got to tour the ship, you wouldn't be allowed to just run around the Javelin. They would have guided tours.
Yeah, well, they sort of like, they had lots of areas blocked off and security by them.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like, a guided tour would be great if an NPC walked around with you and you had to stay near them. Otherwise, they tased you.
Yeah. Or you got sent to prison or something.
Well, no, you'd go, they tase you and put you in the brig in the Javelin.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I think that while there's going to be quite a big flow through of people there, they probably can't do guided tours.
It's understandable why they've done it how they have. But it was a little bit jarring because watching your video, because obviously you'd go up to one of the NPCs and he'd give his speech and you'd be like, oh, that's cool. And then you'd move on and then you'd hear somebody else had triggered his speech.
Yeah, and it's the same.
It's exactly the same, which is understandable. You know, these aren't real people, they're NPCs. But it's a little bit, which is why I thought maybe a guided tour would be slightly better, because you wouldn't have that. It would literally just be triggered by the one instance.
That's the thing. The mocap and the talks they gave were fantastic. And the mocap and the way that the eyes follow you and all that sort of stuff, it's actually really good. However, because that is really good, it's also static. You hear it once, that's it. And that takes something away when you hear it again as you're walking past. It's exactly the same speech. It's weird.
It'd be interesting to see who they got to do these talks, because I feel like they're not proper voice actors.
Whoa. That is throwing some shade on the ones that clearly are voice actors.
Or they're really good voice actors and they've done general military people who have been forced to do this for some reason. It does have that feel of you're talking to someone who, this isn't their job to talk to you. Their job is to run this ship.
But I think that's that's literally a voice actor. I think that's because they're good voice actors. They're like, you're off-duty military talking candidly.
Yeah.
You're referencing more the guy in the bunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because his mocap, his voice acting is fantastic. The speech there is fantastic because there are believable pauses when he's talking about hot bunks and realizing he probably shouldn't be talking negatively about the military and the stuff that he doesn't like about it. And it was very good. So I think you're detecting the quality of the voice actor.
Yeah, no,
in his
that's totally what I'm doing.
Oh my god. If you are a Star Citizen voice actor or actress and you've been offended by Zin, you can email her at Zin. No, let's not give your email out. But yeah, so I really liked the tour. I don't want them to spend huge amounts of time doing static things like that beyond maybe like a couple of times a year or for little events, because I like them, but as I said, they're static. And I'm going to be playing Squadron 42 for that more cinematic game when it's eventually out. I mean, I don't want them to stop. I don't want them to stop doing the stuff like the Javelin Tour and the mocap and the voice actors and stuff like that. That's great. I just don't want it to be like super focused on that, because the replayability of Star Citizen is important. And these things aren't necessarily that replayable that they do as this sort of static cinematic experiences. What about 3.13.1 stability? How did you find that PTU patch over the weekend?
There was a lot of 30Ks. I found within the time that I was doing it, which was not a lot, there were quite a few 30Ks. I had a lot of client crashes for seemingly no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think you found it as well. Like, you get to a certain point, you crash, and then you go to load back in, and it would just crash again straight away. Which to me seems like there's something going on there that's forcing the crash. So
I was noticing a lot of crashes when I was trying to get to the fleet and chase the fleet and see the Bengal and see the Javelin. But then, after a certain point in the evening, I had no more crashes.
Yeah.
So it could just be luck. It could be times on the servers. It could have been a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. The Bengal was very much a frame hog. Like, I would be at a station before it arrived, and frames would be fine, and you'd know as soon as it turned up because your frames just plummeted.
Can you imagine if we didn't have our new PCs?
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I was like, why have I even got this PC? I'm still getting shit performance. What's going on? Yeah,
but if you would have had single digit frames. With our old systems.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah, it would have been terrible.
So thank you very much, anyone that donated towards Zin getting hardware on the channel previously. Appreciated. Love you. Kisses. Yeah, wow. Yeah, mwah. Yeah, get one for me as well. So, yeah, there's a lot that needs to be fixed, especially stability and performance-wise for Fleet Week.
Yeah, I feel like they know that as well. Like,
yeah.
They've released this. I was not expecting any sort of Fleet Week stuff 2 weeks before it comes out, or nearly 2 weeks before it comes out.
I think it's super important they did. They've learnt from last year. Last year, Fleet Week, one of the biggest financial events for them, was amazing financially, and they got a huge amount more players. The servers were dog. Like, they were destroyed. People couldn't log in. It was a monumental failure for the servers and for them doing an event which was supposed to be a free fly to get more people looking at the game. they made a huge amount of money and they still got a huge amount of people. But that would have been a monumental success in this like thing that people would have talked about if it wasn't so crashy and the servers worked and you could actually log into the game. So they don't want to waste that again this year.
I definitely feel like they've released this early. I mean, they might even have more things planned. They might have toned down the amount of stuff just to see how it performed.
No, I kind of agree with you. There's possibly more going on with Fleet Week. I mean, and did you see much of the expo halls? I suppose you would.
No, I was
very
too
limited
busy.
time.
I was too busy trying to get Javelin and Bengal footage.
Yeah, so there's some cool stuff coming in the expo halls. You're going to see a load of ships potentially like, maybe the Perseus and maybe some other ships that you sort of want to see in the Holo viewers. So, but there's also like things like we're probably going to see an A2, the model of it, actually in the expo hall.
They only had the entrance to the expo hall, didn't they?
No, so over the test weekend as well. So when you were getting footage of the Javelin and the Bengal, they were also doing every few minutes or every hour or so, they were going through the expo halls.
Right.
And changing them up to different manufacturers. So I was able to see some stuff in there. Now, we know that there's going to be some stuff for Fleet Week. There's going to be some skins as well, lots and lots of different types of skin. There is going to be at least one new ship going on concept or straight to flyable. So we'll have to wait and see. There could be more. There could be some more. Yeah, I'm quite excited for that. You are going to be able to test out pretty much anything that is flyable at Fleet Week for free as part of the expo. So, and you'll be able to play Star Citizen for free as well if you haven't got a Star Citizen account. And me and Sin will be covering that quite a lot content-wise. One of the rumours that we had heard was that we had talked to some people about was the Ninetales lockdown. So originally we had heard that it might have actually been starting exactly the same time as Fleet Week. And or at least I had said, there's no way that's happening because CIG like to sort of pace these things out and separate them where possible.
It does make sense to stagger it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like, why have all this excitement at one time when you can have a little bit of excitement and then a little bit more excitement?
Well, so actually, talking about Xenothreat and stuff like that, I'm going back to that, they missed a trick by not having the Free Fly and Xenothreat at the same time. And I think that they did want to probably have the Ninetales lockdown overlap with this. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think they're going to have it during Fleet Week, but maybe at the very end of Fleet Week or still during the Free Fly, they might have the Ninetales lockdown, although it looks like much more likely to me that they're going to have the Ninetales lockdown in 3.14. What do you think? Ninetales lockdown, what do you know about it, and when do you think it's going to happen?
I don't know anything about it.
So from what we know of the Ninetales lockdown is that it's probably going to be the Ninetale pirates in the area, locking down with a large fleet, stations sort of around the Stanton system and then moving around. And then have to get people to do missions to deal with them or deal with them quite large scale in a big fleet battle to move them on. And it probably isn't going to be in the same style as Xenothreat. This is probably going to be something that can happen a few times a quarter and then they'll bring it back. Is that what you've heard as well? Or?
That's all that people have speculated on.
Yeah, it is more speculation than anything else.
Yeah. But I mean, given the name, that's all you can do really is speculate. It's a lockdown. We have to break the lockdown.
Wouldn't have any content if we didn't speculate, Aisin. So I reckon. The I Reckon channel.
Yep. I'd like to see it at the end of Fleet Week. So obviously, as we said, we've got that little bit of crossover. So Fleet Week begins a day before the Free Fly event. And then the Free Fly event ends a couple of days after Fleet Week. It's like
That's correct.
2 days.
June 3rd is the end of the Free Fly, and the June 1st is obviously the end of Fleet Week.
So that you've got 2 days there of potentially nothing to show people who have come for this Free Fly event. But it would be interesting and I think it would kind of be good as well if they had it so that these Free Fly players are able to witness the first couple of days or the first day of the Ninetale lockdown.
Yes, and then sort of like, if you want more, you got to pay for the game.
Yeah. So they might be able to do a little bit, but they won't be able to actually witness the entire event, which I'm gonna say is probably only going to last for a couple of days, given Xenothreat. We
were so disappointed with the combat phase of Xenothreat only lasting for literally a couple of days. It was so disappointing because it was pretty good, but even the actual event itself doing the actual mission was very short. So it just felt like a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity because they didn't have free flight at the same time. Missed opportunity because Xenothreat was so short. But hopefully lessons learned with the Nine Tails lockdown. I'm happy for it to be part of 3.14's branch. I think that's probably a better idea. So what else have we got planned and what we're doing? We've been playing, well, at least I've been watching your boyfriend play Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
Which he completed.
He's completed it now, yeah.
What did you think of it?
It's interesting. It was good. I only partially watched it, really. I was playing Apex at the same time.
I really enjoyed the beginning of the game. I really like the Lycans and the castle and the sort of like all the stuff that's going on with the castle and the village. I really like the architecture. Cool. And then afterwards, I mean, it was cool, but it just wasn't as good. I preferred 7. And the reason I preferred 7 is because there was a lot more sort of like going on with it mechanically. There was more stealth bits. There were more things to do. There were more mechanics that weren't just go around here, murder everything, or run. The two things you can do in 8 are either run past stuff or shoot it. You don't have the stealth sort of, stealth kill. You don't have the sort of like same level of mechanics that you did with 7, searching for things and the more of the intrigue. This was much more sort of like, weird stuff and cool things and what's going on? Rather than, this is horrible. This house is horrible. I don't like this. What's that? I've got a car and I'm ramming a person with a car. And like, I really liked 7. Even though 7 was more scary and I dislike scare.
Yeah, like the only bit in 8 that I found very unnerving and very scary was with Angie. I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay, yeah. Hide and seek.
That's not one of my fears, but it's something that definitely unnerves me.
I didn't like the baby.
Yeah.
That was horrible. I think that one of the things that I really loved in 7, actually, was the demo, the slightly not directly associated with the game, but it was. The tape that you could replay, you get secrets and different endings in that tape, which was really cool. And like some of the other gameplay, like having to escape from that mad dude in the Saw style.
Yeah, the escape room.
Yeah, I really liked that. And it felt like there could have been. It felt like they almost tried to do that in 8 in some of the areas, but they just went, well, let's have it as a really fast-paced 20-second section.
Oh, mate. So biggest problem I had with 8. I had a go at DC about it. Not that it was his fault, but there was a little piano puzzle. You had to press the keys to match the notes on the piano. But it didn't matter if you got it wrong. You could just keep mashing at the keys until you got the right note, and then it would move on to the next one. And it didn't matter if you got it wrong. You just had to keep mashing the keys until you got the right one. I'm like, that's not a puzzle. That's not you having to work out what keys to press.
And it's annoying when DC does stuff like that because he will sort of like just go because he just powers through it. He's just done. And you know he's smug about it as well.
But the thing that made me think parallel to that was there was one of the games that Kit had played, the scary games, where I think she had to do a similar thing and replay a tune on the piano. But obviously you have to get it perfect in order for it to work. And then you've got Resident Evil 8, which is like a high-end game, and they're just like, nah, you don't need to try. Just fucking mash the keys until it works. It's fine.
Damn right. But yeah, pretty good game. Quite enjoyed Resident Evil. It's got a good length to it as well. Other thing we're going to be playing soon is Eco.
2 days.
Is it 2? Oh, it is 2 days. So we're playing on Salty Mike's server, the artist previously known as Twerk17.
Literally 2 days. I mean, he didn't answer your question very well, and it kind of annoyed me. So you asked, do we have a confirmed date and time for the server? And he replied with May 12th at the time you posted the question.
Well, maybe you meant at the time I posted the questions when the server's going live.
Yeah, which was 11:38 a.m.
Yeah, maybe he was being really precise and just got lucky.
So I'm like, what, is it 11:30, 12-ish? So I'm going for 12.
I suspect it will be when he wakes up. So I think anyone is more than welcome to join us in this Eco server. I believe, as long as you're going to participate with the rules, you want to check them out on Salty Mike's server. I'll put a link down below so you can check those out. And it's Eco, but it's Eco much more capitalist / finance simulator. There's zoned areas where you can only do certain things. Some of the skills are blocked out if you take other skills, and it is much more economic simulator and super interactive with everyone on the server because you're going to want to be trading stuff. And it's going to be quite interesting, we think. Feel free to join on that, or at least read the rules and get involved. Anything else happening in the short term? You're doing your driving lessons soon?
Yes, that'll be next Monday. I've got my next lesson, and then I'll have a lesson every day. Until
the 21st?
Yep.
Okay, so start of Fleet Week, that's cool. That'll work out fine. Well, good luck. Good luck with your driving lessons, and hope it doesn't disrupt my work schedule for you.
Yeah.
It's all good. Right, so we're looking forward to Fleet Week, starting on the 21st of May. We'll be covering that hugely. If anything exciting happens during the Fleet Week tests in the PTU, we'll take a look. We will be doing a full tour of the Hercules, C2, M2, and Nova tank, and we'll be messing around with the tank a lot more, because we haven't even really done any combat with it.
Yeah, so we were going to take a Hercules to a planet or moon and pick one up, but everywhere was dark, and then the servers kept crashing, and client crashes, so we gave up.
Yeah, PTU is buggy, yo. Oh, there was this thing, it exploded as well. It just went, boom, I don't like you anymore when we were in the tank. It just exploded.
Yeah.
As I think.
No reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a shame. But stay tuned to the channel. I mean, don't stay tuned immediately after this, unless you haven't watched all my videos yet, in which case, go back and have a look at all the videos and stay tuned. But don't stay tuned if you... anyway, thanks very much for watching. Very much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've got any suggestions for topics you'd like me and Zin to cover, whether they be more spicy or particular features or just gameplay you want us to do, chuck it in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Also, lore that you'd like Zin to cover, because Zin is doing sort of like a shorts lore series.
Mm-hmm. I've got things planned. I've got one video waiting to be released, and at this rate I'll have to put next month's outro on it as well.
This is a video on Terror that she's got that I'm literally about to release. But I think I'll do the... Have I released your Squadron 42 one? I don't know.
I think you have.
We'll work it out. Don't worry. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what's this? I just found all your search history online. You filthy boy, buying spaceships and going on Ship Hub. Zin, show a picture of a sexy ship or something. You should have used NordVPN. It's a VPN, obviously, and it has my seal of approval because I chill for them. Use the links below to get a discount and help protect your data, identity, privacy, and to help with online accessibility. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For May, it's for a Crusader Hercules Starlifter. It's a big boy cargo and ground vehicle transport ship that you can expect to be added to the game by the end of the month. Just comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much to my channel members who have pressed the join button below my videos and my Patreons as well. Going the extra mile really, really helps the channel. Say thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Consider becoming a channel member or Patreon as well, and maybe you'll get some poorly photoshopped naughty spaceship shots. Ooh, saucy. Thanks for watching and all your support.